A year ago, I weighed 410 pounds, which is the equivalent to 186 kilograms, or just shy of 30 stone. Now, I weigh 19 stone, which is 268 pounds, or 121 kilograms. And I've consistently lost weight every week over the course of about a year. I decided that I had to make changes. First and foremost, I owed it to myself. I had to make changes for my own health and for my own well-being, for my mental and physical health. But associated with that, I owed it to my wife and to my children. My children are very young. They deserve to have a father who is with them as they grow to adulthood, someone who can actively play with them and be a guide to them as they grow, and someone who can show them love. The danger was that weighing 410 pounds, I was more than likely to develop serious health problems, particularly now that I'm into my 50s. So I realised radical change had to be made. Now that's easier said than done. As someone who's been overweight all of their adult life, I'm very well aware of how to go about losing weight. Take on more exercise and maintain a calorie deficit. Burn off more calories than I consume. And if I do so, I will lose weight. It's all very easy in theory, but nobody gets to 410 pounds without having some serious underlying psychological issues. I genuinely believe that. Now in my case, I have battled with a binge eating disorder throughout my adult life. It's something that's been part of me since as far back as I can remember. Now, I've said I have been successful on my weight loss journey, but I know I will always be in recovery and I will always be fighting this binge eating disorder. It's not that now I've lost weight, and I haven't finished yet, I intend to lose more weight, but it's not that now I've lost it, my problems are over. To an extent, they're going to be with me all my life. I'm aware of that, and I think that can help me to make this change something which is sustainable. So on the 12th of July of 2021, I made the decision that I was going to lose weight. I'd already pre-planned. I'd already bought the product that I was going to use, which for me has been a total food replacement plan from a company called Slim and Save. I know it's a radical way to lose weight, but I recognised that if I didn't see instantaneous and consistent results, I would struggle to maintain the weight loss journey. For some people, that's not necessary. Some people can do it differently, and there is no best way to lose weight. But for me, I found the best fit plan. And this is really crucial if you want to lose weight. Many gurus, many people will tell you this is the way to do it. And many of them are credible. But at the same time, you need to make the decision for yourself and decide which plan is the best fit. And once you make the plan, all things being equal, stick to the plan. Make a plan, stick to the plan. That is absolutely essential on a weight loss journey. Now it's going to be tough at the beginning. I'm someone who has always overindulged, whether it be drinking alcohol far too regularly, or whether it be through binge eating, or even when not binge eating, having too big portions and choosing the wrong foods. The first few days on a total food replacement program are without doubt the most difficult. Day one, of course, is the most difficult, and probably the first 4 days are the hardest while you attempt to get into the state of ketosis. You have to adjust to drinking copious amounts of liquids. Now for me, that's been a mixture of water and teas and coffees. As time went on, I did buy some water flavourings from Slim and Save, which I found very excellent because they just add a little bit of variety to the flavours and the tastes. But that's not absolutely necessary. But you do need to consume between 3 and 4 litres of liquids, and not sugary drinks, of course, during the diet. And one also has to give up alcohol. In any diet which induces ketosis, it is dangerous to drink alcohol. So at the same time, I stopped drinking alcohol. and I haven't deviated from that. So now it's been a year since I consumed alcohol whilst I've been on this diet. When making a conscious effort to lose a lot of weight, you really do have to understand your triggers and then learn to act accordingly. So for me, I was aware that bars, pubs, restaurants were places that I almost had to avoid. Going to a restaurant with my family wasn't something we stopped doing completely, but it was a challenge because I'd only drink water in such environments while watching my wife and children enjoying fine food. Now that's tough, so I didn't want to do it too often. Similarly, at mealtime, I would always make my main meal using my Slim and Save product at the same time as my family were eating to add an element of normality to the diet. And for me, that made a lot of sense. You also have to understand that temptation is always going to be there. You're going to be watching other people eat. You're going to be hearing of friends going out for big nights out. And for me, I don't think you can make exceptions. I don't think that it's wise to have cheat days or to come off your plan. For me, sticking to the plan has been a crucial part of my success. Now, overcoming temptation is very difficult for someone who has lived a life of excess and has been overindulgent. So you really have to work on your mindset. You really have to be positive. You really have to focus on what's working well. For me, a lot of that was making TikTok videos, YouTube videos, and keeping a video diary. So I could always look back at where I was, what I've achieved, where I've come from. Now that really helped me to maintain the focus and not to fall off the wagon. I'm acutely aware that it's very easy to backslide. It's very easy to fall back into the old habits. It takes so long to break habits, but it's so easy for them to be restored. So you really have to persevere at the diet, and not every day is going to be easy. Now, as time goes on, it is fair to say it becomes a lot easier because it becomes part of your lifestyle. And once something is part of your lifestyle, you don't really have to think about it so much. But there will be times, and they come out of the blue, when temptation rears its ugly head, and you have to have strategies in place to resist. One of the best strategies, if you feel hungry, if you think you're going to snack or deviate from your plan, is to then drink a lot of liquids at that particular time. Now, it may not be a long-term sustainable approach to weight loss and maintaining weight loss, but if you drink a pint of water or half a litre of water, it does suppress hunger, at least in the moment, and that may allow you time psychologically to overcome that temptation. Because the temptation comes, and if you avoid it in that moment or in those few minutes, then you reset and you're back to normal. So for me, that's been really, really useful. As I've said, the video diary, the TikTok videos, the YouTube videos have been a godsend for me. They've really helped me to maintain my focus, because every day I'm thinking about what angle can I give to how I'm going about my weight loss. How can I put something on social media which isn't just informative but sometimes can be entertaining, so that people can engage with my journey. And now, at the stage I'm at now, hopefully I can inspire other people to be able to do the same. Because I was the perennial fat bloke. I was the guy who was 410 pounds and lived this life of indulgence. Now, if I can do it, I think anyone can do it. There's no exception. But it's difficult, and it really is hard to get started. Involving my wife and children in the journey has been really useful for me. And one thing which I've made a lot of videos about is how we've used dance as a mechanism for me to get more exercise. The dance has been fantastic because it's been a way I've involved my family in my weight loss journey. My children are actively contributing towards me improving my health by dancing with me. And by filming the dancing and putting it on social media, it just makes it a little bit of fun. And dance is good, gentle exercise. Similarly, going on walks. Sometimes I will go for walks on my own, but quite often I'll go with my family. And again, it's building something which is normal practice into everyday life and something which is burning calories. And again, it goes back to maintaining the calorie deficit. I use the total food replacement, and that helps me to maintain the low calorie diet. But at the same time, I'm more likely to lose more weight and in the long term sustain the weight loss by incorporating exercise. Now, building up the exercise is something which is also really important. You have to increase the exercise if you want to maintain the levels of weight loss, because your body will adjust to the plan that you're on and the weight loss will be steady and consistent, but it won't be dramatic. And the exercise can just help to keep that going, particularly as you start to head towards what might be described as a target weight. Talking of target weights, that's something which I haven't done. I have not set myself a target. I believe that by setting a target, I'm potentially setting myself up for failure. So the approach I've taken to the weight loss journey is just to consistently lose weight week after week. So whether I lose a kilogram or a couple of pounds or just a pound or half a kilogram, I'm happy with the success. The danger of setting too rigid targets is if you don't meet them in the timescale that you've set, you consider yourself a failure. And when you consider yourself a failure, that will have a psychological effect on you and may make it more difficult for you to continue with the weight loss plan. Whilst not setting targets as such, I do mark the landmarks. Now, for me, the landmarks are when I drop below another 10 kgs. So when I went from weighing 186 to 176 kgs, I celebrated 10 kg weight loss. When I drop below 170, again, that's a landmark. And similarly, by using stones, every time I lose another stone, it's a dramatic landmark. The best one perhaps was when I dropped below 20 stone for the first time in donkey's years. Now that was a tremendous landmark. I also look at the percentage of my body weight. Now I've lost over a third of my body weight. I think eventually I'll be quite happy when I've lost half my body weight, which will mean that I will be about 15 stone. I'll be happy with that. And maybe I'll still lose a little bit more weight, or maybe I'll just rest then. I don't know as such, because I don't want to hinder myself by having such a rigid target. When I'm comfortable and when I'm happy and when I'm feeling much more healthy, that's when I'll stop. And by stop, I will never actually stop, because the maintaining the weight loss could end up being more difficult than the actual weight loss itself. I don't know yet, because I've not got to that stage. And now that I've lost 140 pounds, it's really obvious that I have a lot of loose skin. And that's a problem which I'll deal with as the time arises. The greatest problem that I faced was being morbidly obese. So I wasn't going to particularly worry about issues with loose skin when I was so heavy. I just wanted to lose the weight. And now I'm getting to the stage where I've got to start thinking about forward planning on how I may have to deal with loose skin. But even if I need some surgery in order to tidy up the loose skin, that's okay, because I'm in a much better place than I was. I've also had some issues with my gallbladder. I had gallstones anyway, which I developed well over a decade ago. But I've had a recurrence of the gallstones because the dramatic weight loss has led to more stones forming in my gallbladder. And I've had a couple of incidents, I've even been hospitalized. But I even spoke to my consultant about it, and he was like-minded with me that the effects of the gallstones and the little bit of a health scare is nothing in comparison to the dangers of the morbid obesity. So despite the little health issues I've had, I have absolutely no regrets. What I've done has been incredibly positive for myself, for my mental health, for my well-being, for my family, for people around me. People now view me differently in my professional life, because as my wife has said, now I just look like a regular fat guy. That's a lovely compliment. So throughout my journey, I've been making a lot of short form content, which I've been sharing on YouTube and on TikTok and on Instagram. But now I'm thinking I've got a message, a much more sustained message, because I've been doing this for a year. So I'm going to make a lot more long form content which I'll be posting, and please do subscribe, because I'll be offering weight loss advice and tips, reflecting on my own journey and hopefully inspiring you. And I'll be doing that a lot through the short form content, but also increasingly longer form content like this, so it can become more informative. So if you like what I've had to say, if in any way what I've talked about has touched you, then please do hit the like button and leave comments. If you wish to lose weight, if you want advice on any particular aspect from my weight loss journey, please do ask, and I'll do my best to answer in the comment box, or alternatively to make another video specific to the questions that you raise. So please do like and subscribe and help me to build up this channel still further, and it becomes a resource for people who are in the same predicament as I was in, and to some extent still am, and hopefully inspire you and others.